Good evening, I'm Joe Ginger. This is a follow-up story of one which I have on YouTube under Video Person 66 under Yahoo. Make sure that you use Yahoo to see the original one in order to understand what we're talking about here. Okay, this was when I was in the Navy in 1961. I was in a temporary assigned duty with this experimental barge, and we set off large explosions next to a destroyer and so forth. But what this story is about is a prank that was pulled on me. And now this was, well, I still trusted people and believed people, so you'll understand what I'm talking about here in a second. But anyway, we had a main barge, and then we had a sleeping barge to have the sleeping area for a lot of the people that didn't have room in the main barge. Okay, so we was anchored out, and then they told me that I had to check in on the radio each hour as part of the duty. But our call letters and so forth, or whatever we want to call it, was field corn. Field corn 1, this is field corn 1-1. Every hour I had to call up and say, field corn 1, this is field corn 1-1, and whatever, and find out if everything's okay or not. Okay, so anyway, when I first got on it, is that I would walk out, I would say the south door of the barge, and I could see the main barge all lit up, and then, but then after a certain amount of time, what had happened was, now they also told me, watch out because it may pull the anchor, and your barge may go out to sea and be lost forever. And a bunch of stuff like this, But, so anyway, what had happened was, then, a few hours later, that I was in there and I was calling up, and they said, well, you better check and make sure that your anchor hasn't pulled up. Go outside and look and see if you can see us. Well, I mean, the main barge is all lit up, and I mean, you could see it. It was about a half a mile away. You could see it very plain. But here was the situation. When I first got in it, like I was right here, and the main barge is right here. Okay, I walk out. I'll call the south door, and I can see the barge. Okay, that's fine. But then, when the current changed, the tide, current and all that changed, well, it swung around, you see. So, if you follow me, so when I walk out to that door, that same door, I'd be looking out to the ocean, and the barge would be on the other side of me. Well, they told me, well, make sure you check outside and see that you haven't pulled anchor and you're drifting out to sea. Well, I walk out the same door that I was able to see in the barge and couldn't see it. Everything was dark. Well, after being told all this stuff here, I was kind of in a somewhat excited state, and I come back in on the radio and saying, hey, I think we pulled anchor here. I don't see the barge at all. He said, well, you better be concerned. He said, go out and look again. I said, well, I just did. So this went on for a while. Of course, when they was laughing their head off, I wondered, what are they laughing about, and it isn't that funny. He said, okay, go out on your barge and walk all the way around it. So I goes out, and when I walked around the other side, I could see the barge out there. Well, naturally, I realized that they pulled a big joke on me, So anyway, I was supposed to come back to the radio and call them up. Well, no. No. I knew that all they was going to do was laugh at me. So I went back in there and just say, okay, I mean, you got me, but then I didn't make any more calls on the radio. But anyway, that was kind of funny. It's much more funny now than it was then, but that was a prank that's pulled on me, and like I say, that was before I still trusted people and believed people, but so that's kind of the end of the story.